you ready? It's the Roundtable with me, Robert Bannon.
Well, welcome to the Roundtable, everybody. My name is Robert Bannon, and you're listening to us on Broadway World or over here on the Broadway Podcast Network. You know, when I was going to acting school, I went to William Esper, and I was a Meisner Conservatory student, and my teacher used to make us go see shows. And one of the places she said put on some of the best shows that you needed to see without breaking the bank that was doing some real great acting work was over at Irish Rep. She was the biggest fan of Irish Rep. So whenever Irish Rep gets sent over to this show, I'm like, we need to show love and support because these actors are acting over there. So we're here talking about Irish Rep's season, the latest main stage show, Beckett's Briefs, From the Cradle to the Grave. And these little short plays by Samuel Beckett, we're going to find all about. It goes till, an extended run. But Sarah Street has been doing Irish Rep stuff for a long time. And she's doing a nonverbal role. Talk about impediment work. Talk about acting school masterclass. You need to go check this out. Sarah Street, welcome to the Round Table.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me, Robert. I appreciate it.
I'm so excited to talk to you because you've done some work here at Irish Rep. You've been acting here in New York City for a hot moment. What's it like to start this season's new main stage play and talk about Beckett's Brief? What is it about?
So Beckett Briefs is a collection that was curated by our director, Ciarán O'Reilly. It's a collection of 3 of his shorter plays. The first one is Not I, which is a solo performance that I do, which is just all the audience sees is a mouth, basically, and it's a sort of a 10-minute stream of consciousness monologue. And then the second part is a short play called Play. And it is 3 individuals basically speaking from beyond the grave in their urns, in their funeral urns. It is a man. The characters are called Man, Woman 1, and Woman 2. And it's basically a love triangle that caused a lot of drama when they were alive and is now still causing drama when they're dead. And it's basically, even though there's 3 actors on stage, there's also a 4th player, which is our stage manager, because there is over 300 light cues in this short play, because basically what happens is we're all facing the audience, and when the spotlight hits you, that's when you speak. And the spotlight, not in a linear fashion, of course, because that would not be very Beckett, but the spotlight sort of jumps from one character to the other, and they kind of plead their case to this torturous light that is sort of interrogating them. And then Krapp's Last Tape is, of course, one of Beckett's more famous pieces, and that is being done, of course, by the amazing Academy Award winning F. Murray Abraham, who's just breaking hearts every night up there, and is about a man at the end of his life listening to recordings of himself that he made many, many years ago, and sort of, going through, various stages of his life and regret and this and that. So there are 3 very distinct, very different plays. The sort of subheading for the whole production is From Cradle to the Grave, because we start off with Not I, where a woman describes sort of being born to unknown parents and sort of coming out into the world, and she can't speak. She's sort of a mute, and then all of a sudden she finds herself at 70 years of age and she can't stop speaking, to going to sort of grown people in play, and then someone at the end of their life. So it kind of takes you through a cool trajectory, basically.
It's really amazing that you get to see 3 of these pieces with you and then a cast and then F. Murray Abraham, who has done everything. Amadeus, to White Lotus, etc. And you get all of this material, all this art, all 3 stories for one ticket price.
Yeah, and the first 2 pieces are not performed a lot, particularly outside of Ireland, I would say. Not I is a particularly sort of technically just very, very difficult piece. So it's no surprise that it doesn't get performed a lot. Krapp's, of course, is and is well known, but with the other 2 pieces, there's not a lot of opportunities, I feel like, for theater goers and Beckett lovers in particular to see these pieces.
Well, what's amazing to me is that the reviews, like, the New York Stage Review saying the most impressive performance now on any New York City stage, or the word that's been out. The bad news, I think, I may be wrong, Sarah, for everyone watching, is I think these shows are sold out.
They are sold out. So They're sold out. I will say there is a wait list, and the Irish Rep are very good. Like every day the box office comes in, and the box office at the Irish Rep, like they work their bums off, and they do call everybody on the wait list to see if like, okay, we have 2 tickets available today, so can you make it? And also I will say to people, every night, for various reasons, things happen in the city, as we know. There's always at least 1 or 2 empty seats in the audience for people that just, didn't show up for whatever reason, tickets that were bought and didn't show up. So I've been telling like friends of mine and stuff who are sad that they haven't gotten to see it. I'm like, show up to the theater an hour before the performance and just tell them, listen, I'm here. And I would say you have probably like a 70 to 75% shot of getting a seat, especially if you're on your own or it's just 2 of you or something. So I would say just like, if you really want to see it, like give it a
go.
Give it the old college try.
Give it a go. IrishRep.org is where you can get more information and you can get your tickets. And then it's going to be on demand. So people can see it. There will be a way that you can see it. What can we say about that? It starts March 16th to March 30th. You can get it on demand.
Yeah, well, I'm really glad you know something about that, because all I know is that it was filmed and it's going to be streaming for a while. So I imagine it'll be on the website, and it'll be on the Irish Rep website.
If you go to Irish Rep right now, you can see that it's only a limited time that you can get it. So it's going to be from March 16th to March 30th, and it's only $39. And you can sit down with your significant other and see it. If it's 2 people, that's $20. You can't even buy a pizza in New York City for $20.
It's true, I know.
So that's perfect. Limited tickets are available. It's available for pre-sale. It's not open-ended that you can get 1 million tickets. So get your tickets. Why is Irish Rep important to you? Why do you like working there?
Oh my God. I mean, how much time do you have? I mean, I love it so much because honestly, they treat their actors and anybody that works for them, they treat them like gold, like the green room in the Irish Rep is like just a kind of always a famous like kind of hub of activity. There's always tons of snacks. There's always cakes and sweets and things that you probably shouldn't be eating, but like, they're there. So, but everyone, they have a real knack, I think, of hiring just lovely people, both that work front of house and back of house. So when you work there as an actor, you just feel like really, really, just really taken care of. I was only having this conversation with the wardrobe supervisor, Julia, the other day, just about, as an actor, particularly when you're working on pieces that sometimes can be quite vulnerable and quite difficult, and difficult for you to kind of consistently do every day, that us actors, we can be little babies. I think we need a little tender love and care, and the Irish Rep has always been really good at providing that, and I think they do great work. They they respect the people that work for them, and I think they really care about their audiences and their output and the work that they do. So it just makes coming to work every day easy and lovely.
How do you work amongst this group of actors? How do you collaborate with the supportive staff? Like in the room, when you go in, you book this gig. What's it like the lead up to the show being on its feet? What's it like with the director, with the crew, with the cast? Do you read it at a table? Do you spend a lot of time going over the backstory and the notes? What's it like? Lead us into a rehearsal room for one of these shows.
I mean, this show in particular, this is I think my 8th production at the Irish Rep, and obviously with a play that is more of a conventional type of play, you're with the rest of the cast all the time, rehearsing and whatnot. This was obviously somewhat divergent from that because there's 3 separate pieces. So for this, obviously day one, we go in, we meet all the designers, we talk about what the show is going to look like and sound like, and we do, a table read for everyone. And then after that, it was sort of each piece was being worked on separately. So I was doing Not I separately with Ciarán. We were doing play, the 3 of us together with Ciarán, the director, and then Abraham was working with Craps in the afternoon. So we were kind of doing morning, afternoon, and later afternoon. But they're great too with sort of providing actors what you need in the rehearsal room. So often, obviously, we're acting with the props that won't actually be the props or whatnot. For Not I in particular, for anyone that's familiar with the play, it's sort of a sensory deprived experience for the actor. I'm behind the set. there's a piece of felt that I like stick my mouth and my nose through, that a spotlight will then shine on me. I kind of have just around my mouth and the tip of my nose like painted black to match the set, and I can't see anything. My face is sort of I can't really move a lot, and I have earplugs in. And so when we were doing that in rehearsal, Ciarán thankfully said, it's really important for me to get a sense of what that's going to be like back there, because as an actor, when you first kind of get to the set, you always feel a bit weird because it's different to the rehearsal room. And he didn't want my experience, the fact that I can't see and hear and move very much, to sort of be new to me when this piece is so difficult already. So they had sort of like a door carved out for me that our ASM Shayna would kind of basically put my head into and strap my head in, and there was a little space for my mouth, and I would rehearse Not I every day through this like hole in this fake door, basically. So it's sort of, and then for play, because we obviously didn't have the spotlight in rehearsal, our stage manager Jeff had a clicker, and he would click at us when it was our turn to speak. So and I'm sure Murray had a million things that he had going on in craps too, but it's just about kind of giving yourself as much as possible in the rehearsal room, so that when you reach the stage, you're going to have that moment of like, oh God, I don't feel like I'm in my body, I'm uncomfortable for a second, but all the work that you've done is there, and that kind of rises up to meet whatever anxiety of newness that you have about the new space, being on the stage and all that. But Irish Rep are great at giving you everything you need, and giving you the sort of the time that you need, because these pieces in particular, probably the hardest thing I've ever done, if I'm honest. They're not easy, and it's important as an actor to feel that you can go out there and you're doing the best work that you can possibly do on any given performance.
I'm floored by what you just described. Because when you see nonverbal, I think, how does she know what to do? What is the story? How do you tell the story? What are the different beats that you tell on stage? But then to have the physical kind of impediment that you're working with, and I'm in. I need to see what you're doing.
Come.
Do you practice? Did you practice this? Like, what was practicing like outside of the rehearsal space? Like, were you at home trying to figure this out and working on it?
Yeah, it's the speed of it is insane. And Beckett is very sort of like, he wants it to be performed at the speed of thought. So it's the monologue itself is like, brrr, like it just, so to get myself up to that speed was just a matter of, we had a lot of conversations around like who this woman, could have been, the experiences she could have had, all of this. Because obviously with Beckett, it's sort of oblique and it's not all given to you in a very simple way. So we had a lot of conversations around that. And I, had my own process about kind of making some decisions about who she was and all of that. But in terms of the technicality of performing it, someone who's never been able to speak before and all of a sudden starts speaking and cannot stop, and the sort of urgency of that, it really was a matter of repetition until I thought like my mouth was going to fall off, basically. And every single day, I never am like, oh yeah, I've got it in there now, it's fine. Every single day I do it 3 times on my way to the theater. So there's definitely a lot of people in New York that have seen me on the subway doing it and think that I'm insane, because they just see a woman sitting down going blah, 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 whatever. It's fine. I'm fine with that. So I do it 3 times on my way to the theater. And then when I get to the theater, I go somewhere, I put my earplugs in, and I just do it one more time. And by then I sort of feel like, that I'm warmed up and ready to go. Because after I do Not I go immediately into, I basically wipe off my makeup, put some lipstick on, and I go into the urn. I get into my little urn, and then I do Play, which is like a completely different sort of, character and experience and whatnot. So I have to be ready, so I warm up every day, more like I'm more strict about my warm up for this than I ever have been in any other play,
I've done 1,000 interviews. I've never had my jaw drop on the floor, like talking to you about what this role entails and what this piece is. It is something that I think we need to see. Like I'm shook and you do it, and you've been doing it. You're almost at the end of the run, and you're still being a good actor in the sense that you prepare every day. You know, there's a paying audience that are waiting online to come see the show, and you show up and you do the due diligence to put out the best performance. I have a teleprompter right now talking to you. I don't know how you do this every night and read it with that speed and what you're doing. You have quite the career. Like, you have done television, you do film work, and then you do stage work, and you're here in the United States, you're here in New York. How do you balance? How have you been balancing all of this?
I mean, that's such a, I don't know. I mean, I feel like sometimes more successfully than others, you know. I do find, for me personally, and of course everyone's different in terms of what they feel like they need for self-care or for their, you know, to calm down their nervous system or whatever. I do need quite a bit of time alone, you know, particularly when I'm in a show, when you're performing so many times a week, because there's such an amount, I think, of output as a performer, you know, that you need to then sort of, you know, it sounds so cheesy, but you do need to have that time for self-care and time for kind of giving back to yourself. And whether it's just like being at home by myself watching a film, or you know, the weather is getting nice now, so just taking a walk in my like neighborhood and, you know, throwing on a podcast or whatever. That stuff is really important. That stuff stops me from being like, you know, a raging, you know, bitch, because like you just need it, you know, otherwise you do start to get kind of cranky and tired and irritable. And not that I don't still get that way sometimes, I'm sure I do, but you know, I think ultimately, I think because I love what I do so much, and you know, you know, every day it still terrifies me doing this, but it's like you know, it's like something that's like all actors, right? We sort of torture ourselves in this strange way of like doing this thing that's like so scary to us, but we must do it, you know. But I love what I do, and I feel really grateful, you know, to have come here from Ireland and to be able to do it in this city that that kicks the crap out of me and all of us, but that I love so much. And so, yeah, I think it's just important to figure out a couple of things that you enjoy doing and sort of bring you back to yourself. I'm also a big like meditator. Like, I love guided meditations and stuff like that. My mom is big into that and has always been on my ass about like, you know, did you meditate today? If I'm on the phone to her and I sound a bit like irritable, she's like, I think you should do a meditation. I'm like,
I get it.
Probably. So, you know, I do think that stuff is really important, and I don't think we should feel guilty or bad about prioritizing it, because at the end of the day, you know, you can't pour from an empty cup, you know.
You know it. Well, you're such a pleasure, and you are so wonderful, and your work and the work ethic and everything that you've taught us today, and going to see the show. I want people to know that Beckett's Briefs is available. It's sold out, so you could try to wait online and get a ticket, but from March 16th to March 30th, for less than $40, you can definitely check it out and see the show. All you got to do is go to irishrep.org, and then you could check out the performance, both shows that she's in, plus F. Murray Abraham bleeding it home at the end, and just support Irish Rep and their whole entire season. Go see their shows and support actors and the work that's being done here in New York. Go see a show anywhere. Just go see an artist do something. Go see live theater and keep live theater alive. Sarah, thank you for being here. Thanks. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Best is yet to come. I'm ready for the next one. Let's go. Give her the next monologue. Let's go.
Let's go. Before I go, I just want to shout out my other cast members, Roger Casey and Kate Forbes, who are beside me in the urns in play. I love them so much. And everyone at the Irish Rep, thank you so much for the opportunity.
Go support it and check out Sarah, and we'll put the link so you can follow her on social media, and all the things are below us so you can stay up to date on all the work that's to come and all the next shows she's in and all the next, because you got a lot of work left to do.
Listen, honey, it's all coming.
Thank you so much.
Robert, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Have a good one. Bye.